most people think about, because that's what we know unless somebody tells you otherwise. So hence one of the reasons that I included this wonderful technical diagram here is because there's a lot of muscles involved with your scapula, which is basically our shoulders are our shoulders, it's our top line, so to speak. But to develop our top line, we also need to use the muscles underneath it to keep things in place and to also have the strength to keep it in place, as opposed to getting it there for 2 seconds, it moving, so forth and so on. And, oh, here she comes. So that's going to become the focus of it. There's something like 17 to 19 muscles involved around the scapula. It's only a little bony attachment, and the rest of it is all muscles that attach and move it. So it's like having two, you know, if you look at your diagram at the top, it's like, you know, this triangular shaped thing that moves around, and if we're not careful, can also protrude away from your back, and you know, a couple of other things as far as strength. Good morning.
Good morning.
So anyway, and part of this is the rotary cuff, which is a whole other subject. But this specifically is the adductors. The adductors are what bring the scapula in towards your body and hold them there, as opposed to pinching. So it's like sliding them down, which is the lats here. This helps pull them down. This helps pull them in and together, and you have muscles right between the scapula. So that's going to be our focus today. We're going to do different exercises that kind of work on different areas. So the first thing is just to stand up straight, and we're just going to take a quick postural assessment. We'll just see, don't try to do anything, just, you know, just kind of stand there and let's see what happens here. Yeah. Okay.
I love how Linda's shaking her head. No, my posture's not good.
Well, Sandy's been coming to Pilates, so she should be exemplary. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what happens is, you can sit down again and relax for a minute. We're going to do a brief warm-up on the reformer, because I know we want to get out there before it gets too hot, so I want to keep things as tight as possible. And if anybody has any questions or wants to come back in, you know, after, or email me, text me about any further questions, I'd be happy to help you with any of it. Plus, I said we're going to hopefully have a video of this that will be sent to you so that you will have a record of what we did. The first thing that happens is you cannot strengthen or change a position without first opening up things and things that are tight. Gravity pulls us down. We, computers, life, etc. So all of this is bringing us down. This means that our pecs get tight, our neck gets kind of pulled off, our shoulders roll forward. So even if we try our best to be here, if you notice my shoulders are still rounding, I'm still not fully open, I still can't make contact with those muscles in my back. I'm still in my front. So even if I'm sitting up nice and tall, I still, you see that kind of like little pleat, hopefully that shows me. Okay. That's the feeling of that I can't get to my back muscles from here. I need to fully open my collarbone and open in the front of the chest. So unless you can open the pecs and the muscles here to get down into those muscles, it's very difficult. And that's what most of you really, you know, pretty nice posture as things go. But for what we want a little bit better than nice. So we want effective. The way to be effective is to get in contact with that. So we're going to do a couple of exercises. We can go over to here first. And let's do a couple of these first, then we'll come back here for the warm-up. But I just want to give you a little bit of an idea of the shoulders, so you can come in front of the mirror. I'm just going to move this out of the way. That's my Pilates workout for today. Down and back. So no pinching. It's more rolling them and setting them down. So the first feeling is you're going to just lift your arms and go, I'm thanking my audience. Okay? Yes. So I want plenty of room between here and here. And I'm going to drop my shoulders down my back. Yes. Good. Yeah. And a lot of people tend to have tightness up here, which makes this part of it very difficult and also pulls on their neck. So that's one of the assessments. Now, from here, you're going to bring the elbows in, and you're going to hold your platter, and you're going to try to just rotate the shoulders open. Now, if you feel any tightness in the front, yes? Anybody feel? Yeah, keep the elbows real close to you. So, yes, and then open and close a couple times. Yeah, good. And bring it back. So when you open, rotate with your elbows right next to your body. Because if I'm out here, I'm releasing my muscles. So if I'm in here, I've got to try to rotate from here. And that's when you feel tight in the anterior delts. Yes. And then close it again. And then one more time. And this time you're going to open. And you're going to try to keep that posture open out to the side. Very dynamically without this coming up all the way. And then bring it back in. And all the way. Good. See some lifting there. Tighten the upper traps. Yes. You feel that?
Yeah.
Very
My
good.
tightness is all on the top and the back of the shoulder.
Yeah. And let's see. Good. Not too bad. Good. And last one. Good. All right. Yeah. Now, the other tricky part of this, even though this is not part of the deal, but it comes along with it, your rib cage is very much a part of your shoulders. You have to think of that, because if I get this, and turn sideways, by doing that, I'm throwing myself off. So I have to be sure I keep my core, and then I do my arms. So it makes a little bit of that kind of thing is back to what I was talking about with the losing the chest as you're trying to do it. So try to, again, keeping a little bit of like a dent underneath here because of those muscles. Yeah. Does it feel a little different? Yeah. Yeah. So this always has to stay centered on from your core. Yes, Miss Sandy? Give me more core. Yeah. Rib cage down. Yeah. So I want that back straight and drop the rib cage. Yeah, good. And then open the arms. Good. So you can't sacrifice this to get this, and we can't sacrifice this to get this. So we're trying to get it all in one package, which is what makes it so difficult. Okay. So from here, she's about to smack me. Now the only reason you're using the weights is we're going to see about your range of motion. Okay. And I need a pair.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't know where anything is where I'd be more helpful.
Okay. What I want you to do is, first, very simple, but not simple, is you're going to raise your, going to drop the shoulders down, okay? Try to lengthen up in your neck, release everything as much as you can, okay? It's kind of hanging out. When you raise your arm up, drop your shoulder blade down. Because if this is happening, you're tight up there, you're going to isolate it and bring it back down. Yeah. And then as you raise it up, think of this, dropping down, and release. Yeah, and now raise it up. Whoa! Two separate things. Good. Same thing here, this, and release here. Now when you do this, you should feel it coming from your back and your lats rather than the top of your shoulders. Okay? So that you want your back to be working. Okay, try the other arm. So in other words, your lats, if you think about having wings instead of arms, our concept of shoulders is that. And we're lifting from here. We're lifting from our back up and part of your core and our back up and drop, drop, drop. Even if you think you dropped, you probably have more space in there than you think. Yes, now really drop the shoulders and release and relax. Yeah. Good. And one more. Good. That's excellent. Good. And you might feel like all of a sudden you just hit a brick wall and it just doesn't go any further without having something come up. Now, try it forward here. Drop the shoulder blade down as this goes up. And you can try the other one. Drop the shoulder blades. Lift. And maybe at the beginning you might get here, you might get here, you know, wherever you get, you get. What you're trying to do is release the muscles. We're not lifting the weights to make the arms stronger. We're doing this to release it and lift from your back. So if anything, your back should be feeling the muscles working. Yes. Good. Anybody not feeling their back? So give me, you know, if you're not feeling it, let me know. Okay? Your shoulders are pretty good. Good. And yeah. So that as that goes up, see that tightness right there? Yeah. Yeah. So as you work on this, you work on releasing. It's not like magically you're going to be here and all of a sudden, you know, it's got to be release, release, release. It might be here, and then as you continue with this, but you've got to keep, it's not about getting it up there high. It's about getting this down low and keeping it there. So maybe this is it right now.
I just want to cut in a little bit, like when you're
Sure.
riding, okay, and you're doing things to manipulate the reins. Obviously, we're not doing the reins like
Yeah.
this, but when you're doing things to manipulate the reins, as soon as you disconnect here, you lift your seat bone on that side, and the horse feels that. And that has an impact then on the horse, you know, stepping up and carrying you. Anytime you lose a little bit in your shoulder, you lose it right down through your seat bone too.
Yeah.
Because your shoulders, that, you know, the downness, I guess, through here, and that connection through your back drops straight down into your seat bone. So anything that gives up there has an influence down low. Because your seat bones can't like lift independent of, you know, other things move to make your seat bones move. They can't move on their
And
own.
the other thing is, you know, if you're tight up here and you can't do this, this is going to affect the way you hold the reins because I am automatically going to go here. So if I can't release these muscles, I can't strengthen where I need to strengthen them. So the point of it is also not so much that we're going to be lifting overhead, but if I don't have this range of motion and separation, you want to be able, you know, independent seat. Okay, this is independent arms and shoulders. I can move my arm and my shoulder does not have to go up there. I can move it sideways. I can move it wherever I need to. And I am coming from my back, which is strong, which eventually is going to translate to this. But if I don't have this released and down where I need to, then I'm going to be strengthening all the wrong muscles, which is what happens. So much people work very hard at doing things that are really harmful more than they're helpful. So what we're trying to do is get the feeling of what is
This muscle right here always gets real sore.
as your, yeah.
And I think I round more because I do this.
Yeah,
I
this
look
is
down at my horse's neck.
well, that's all part of it, and by the way, we'll jump to another session of this too. So if you turn sideways, part of this, and it can't be ignored, one is the rib cage, which I don't want to dwell on, but you have to be conscious of that because that's a whole other subject. Because this is the top of your abs. If that goes, then I got wobbles, I got all kinds of stuff going on. I can't really control my shoulders. But you also have to make sure that your neck is long and therefore your head is, because if your head's forward, that weighs a lot. That's pulling you down. So it's like you're going to be on your floor, and here you are looking down at your horse hoping that he's not going to be, and you're there. So you have to be able to get this feeling of this here and not really developing, you know, the neck forward kind of syndrome, because that's also very prevalent in our society for a lot of other reasons. So it's got to be, and a very easy exercise for that, or to feel, just put down your weights for a second, is to take your hands behind your ears and stretch the back of your neck and drop your chin so that it's not like a fist would fit underneath it, but you think of stretching the back of the neck. There are muscles back here. There are muscles here. So if our muscles are weak and contracted in different areas, we can't support our head. So you actually have to have it in a place in alignment with your spine so that it's centered over everything. So, you know, looking down, looking up, whatever you're going to do, but you've got to keep that long neck.
Yeah, the weight of your head has to come right down between your seat bones. Okay, when you're riding, the weight of your head isn't coming down between your seat bones. You know, then again, you're having an influence on how your seat feels to the horse. You know, he feels that constant change of weight, and that's, you know, the hardest thing to do in dressage is to keep the horse in the same balance all the time. You know, I mean, that's really the best riders, that's what they do. They keep the horse in the same balance all the time. But if they are moving, you know, through their shoulder, you know, if anything is not coming straight down, centered over the seat bones, they can't keep the horse in the same balance all the time. And then the riders that, you know, are displaced for whatever reason, then they go to balance the horse here, you know, with the reins. Okay, you're more with the, or you need more leg, or you need more this, or you need more that. Where a lot of times it's just simply how your alignment is over the horse. And the other thing that you might notice happen is, let's say you don't have great alignment, and then someone with good alignment gets on your horse. What does your horse do? He gets angry first, because he's used to kind of moving you around and making himself comfortable. But then once the horse realizes, well, that person's not going anywhere, like that's everything staying the same, then the horse starts to conform to where the rider is sitting, and that's what's supposed to happen. We're not supposed to be conforming to what the horse is doing. They're supposed to be conforming to how we're sitting. And then they start to conform, and when that doesn't change, then the horse gets comfortable and then he's happy. But a lot of times when somebody else will get on a horse, someone with good alignment, strong posture, the horse is like, excuse me, you know, I'm used to being able to move my person. You know, I'm not used to the person having that kind of stability.
And, you know, Susanna Benedice has a book called Back to Back, but it's very much, I always think of that, you know, the back to the back. But unless you're stable, which again, we're looking for the stability and the strength without the tension. And when we're all over the place, we are bound to tense up trying to get somewhere instead of being able to kind of sit there. And somebody told me once, and I love the analogy, is that the shoulders are like the hanger for your body. You know, and the stability, it's almost like you take your shoulder blades and your shoulders and you sit them on top of your lats, which we're going to get into our push-up muscles in a little bit. But that you sit them on top and then they rest there. And then you have your strength from your back, etc. But as I said, first, if you're tight up here, is getting this release so you can get into that. And then we're going to get into the strengthening part of it. Okay, why don't we get on the reformer and do a call. So a little room to move. Yep. So from here, zipped up, hands down by your side. Okay. Now, first thing is move your shoulders away from the shoulder rest. Give it some space. Think of somebody opening your collarbone and dropping it, so you should be able to feel your scapula on the reformer. You should be able to feel them nice and flat. At the same time, make sure you're connecting through the rib cage. So the rib cage can't pop up while this is going on. Yes. And you just want to kind of take a deep breath, inhale, exhale out through the rib cage. Good, and one more, you're going to inhale. And as you exhale, keep all of this. You're just working with your legs. You're going to press out as they can stand on the bar. Good. And come back in. And pressing out and coming back in. So just keep this motion.
Your shoulders against the thing.
Without moving your shoulders against the thing. If you're really sliding from your clothes, I can give you a stick. And you want to completely extend your legs. Yeah.
You can just hold my hands here?
Yeah, as long as it doesn't pull your shoulders forward. Yes.
So the same thing she's doing,
Yeah.
slide forward.
Then let me get you a sticky to put underneath.
I'm sliding as well.
And make sure,
Fighting hands.
yeah, put a little sticky under might help. But also it's the fact that when you're pushing, you have to be careful where you're pushing from. I don't want to get off the shoulder subject, but since it'll end up with you banging up against the edges. Make sure when you're pushing out from here and then here, so that we're not shoving our way out, but we're just opening and closing the hip and the knee.
So here and here is the back of your upper leg and the front of your upper leg.
Yes. So you can have this, yeah, and that may may help if you've got little slippery clothes on, sometimes that does it, but yeah, so don't over try, I guess is what I'm saying, yeah, and let go of your hips, yeah, good. And when you come in, your hips are totally relaxed, your tailbone is down, your abs are on, okay, but you're just opening and closing your hips, and just think of not working too hard, okay? It's not like we're doing 40 squats here. Now, you're going to go to tiptoes, because we're not going to do the squats at the moment. You're going to go to tiptoes, but you're going to have your legs zipped up. Now, press out. Good. Come back in. Good. Good. Try to keep the shoulders open so we're not overworking. Yeah, but with no rib cage popping. Yeah, that's hard. It's very hard to keep the rib cage down and the shoulders open if you're tight. So that's one of the things, but if I'm trying to find out what we need to work on, it won't necessarily be solved all in one moment. Good. Now you're going to stay out there, you're going to drop into your heels. I'm sure you've heard that story. And you're going to roll up through your feet, come back in, and again, press out, drop your heels. Good. Roll it back up, come back in. And again, one more time, so we're going to fast forward through a warm-up. Both legs, so press out. Give me both legs, so press out with both legs, yeah. All the way, drop both heels, yeah. Come back up with both legs and back in, yes. All right, and come on in and let's go. We're going to open up here. This is just to give you a little glute work and to relax the hips. Okay, so your hips should be able to do a little Elvis or a little Charleston there. Relax, yeah, exactly. So come on in, Miss Sandy, open it up. Good. Yeah, so you're going to bring it in, heels on the outside here. Yeah, good. Tailbone is down, just relax those hips, and you're using a little bit of glutes to press it out. You're keeping your tailbone down, hips relaxed. You're really relaxing here, so that when you come in, you drop that tailbone. There you go. Good. And two more. Good. And one more. Good. And come back in. We're going to go knees in and toes in. So we're going to roll everything in. Try to keep the same position if you can that you had. Good. Like that. Uh-huh. Beautiful. And I'm looking to see if your knees meet evenly. You're feeling whether your IT band is tight. And
right leg is longer.
Ah. Good, keep going all the way out. You gotta completely straighten the legs. Yes. Good. Completely straighten. Good. Woo. Yeah, a little tighter on this side to say the least. Yeah. Good. The reformer reveals a lot of things. That's why I like to even just do a little warm up here. You get a little feeling of some other things that may be going on. And last two. And last one. Okay, we're going to come back in. We're just going to do a couple of quick bicycles. You're going to put the ball of the foot here. This leg extends out. You get picked on because you're at the front of the line here. You're going to press out that way, straightening this leg, bending this leg, and then just reach it out and over. But I want lightness, soft, and floaty. Okay? So you're going to bend it in. Yep. Reach it up and out. Try to straighten your standing leg and bring it back in. Good. Good. So think of your abs here are getting stronger now because you've got one leg up in the air, but you must straighten the standing leg. So one leg's doing one thing, one leg's doing another, but both legs have to end up being straight. Good. Two more. Nice soft hips. Yep. Good. And let's change legs anytime you're ready. And just bend it in, reach it up and out.
So if it's harder to do it on one leg than the other, then what's that telling you?
Imbalance.
Like instability where?
It could be, like in this case here, she said, we noticed that it was tighter on one leg than the other. So one leg is compensating, which could translate to anything from the sit bone being heavier or stronger on one leg, or losing the stirrup on the other leg, or you feel like one leg's shorter than the other, as was mentioned before. Good. And last one. And come back on in. Okay, we're going to go right into leg circles. Good. So, now this is another big truth teller because if you're not able to, the straps are supposed to be equal, last time I checked, and if you should be able to work equally in both legs and keep evenness across your hip bones, okay? Now, and on your instep, yep, so, good, and let me put your weight down. Leg straight to the ceiling, keeping your tailbone down. Yeah, no further than when your tailbone would stay down. Then press both legs away and down. Good, just about 45 degrees. And then back up. So we're going to exhale, use your abs as you push the legs away. Because that weight's going to try to pull on your back. Good. And you're going to inhale, release, and relax and stretch, and it comes back in. One more. Good. And back up. Now, circles are open the legs, release them, not be in a hurry, let it release and relax. Keep them parallel and make a circle. So up, so this case we're keeping parallel all the way around, even though if you turn out you'll make a bigger circle, but that's not yours. Purposes. Good. And straight up. Good. And open the legs and pulling down through. Good. Good. Now. Good. I just want to see what happens.
Linda's trying to cheat.
Yeah. And now this leg here.
Tail.
That's me, a cheater.
Let's think about really making that long. Yeah. So think of lengthening. So we want to be able to release.
Open them, Linda, open your legs at the top of the circle.
And long.
At the top?
Yeah, go to the top of the circle.
Yeah, so
Oh, there.
you want to be at 90 degrees with your tailbone down. So come back toward me a little bit. No, but just with your legs. Yeah, just here. Then open it out.
Open now.
Yep, good. And back, and then straight, long. Feel like your legs are 10 feet long.
Okay.
You're gonna reach them all the way to the middle on the other side. One long muscle, not bunched up short muscle. We want long. Okay, reverse it. So down, open, good. And yep, keeping the tailbone down, so not so far that your tail knees and your legs should be nice and warmed up, and we can go on to working from upper back, okay? So we just come off the reformer, and so anytime, during the day, I find sometimes the simplest things work the best, but think of it as setting your default muscles. Is like every once in a while, if you're doing something, even while you're riding or whatever, Mary will have her exercises out there, but just make sure that you're, going back to where that default setting is that you want to be. So the shoulder shrugs, as much as they sound mundane, but to get yourself back in that place and to kind of get circulation up here. This will feel a little tingly there. I know I've been holding myself tight. It really does help. So now we're going to go on to two exercises that no Sandy loves. Okay, we're going to put your boxes on, so you're going to come on off. Part of the equation with the shoulders are your upper back extensor muscles, and the muscles up here that keep your back up straight so we don't develop kyphosis. Use a crutch, and I'll show you how to do it at home, but it gets all the way down your back, all the way down, all right to your sit bones. This is the one, Mary, we were talking about that oxen did exactly what we did. Since we're not really moving. But now my lower back hurts. Well, we're going to stretch that out in a moment because that means not enough abs. It's very common in that position. And it's something that we watch out for, but I want to do it on the floor, and then we're going to give you a pigeon stretch so you get your back stretched out. But you have to be careful of that because that's why I'm always saying abs first.
A lot of these exercises I have in my Pilates DVD for mat exercises.
Mm-hmm.
But with doing it without an instructor, I've been using the wrong body parts.
Well,
You know?
see, this is the thing that is, Pilates is not what you do, it's how you do it.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it wrong, you're making the problem worse. So it's important to, that's why I'm trying to give you a video that you can hear the comments and pay attention to some of that, because just doing the exercise in arms, one person's weak back here, one person is fine here but rounds their back. Everything is individual. Okay, so do swan dive, you can do it in increasing amounts. One is to have your arms right by your side, and you want as little weight on your hands as possible. It's for balance. Collarbone wide, abs lifted to protect your lower back. It's not about coming up high and so you're crunching into your lower spine. You open.
So you're not lifting with your arms.
Nope, we're trying to see my fingers. I'm trying to use as little as possible. Now, I may have to use some if I'm weak there. And inhaling and exhaling. Now you can test the waters, yes, by lifting your hands, but only when you're ready. Don't sacrifice it. Yes. Good. Yes, and you feel like you have to squeeze your butt a little bit too. Good. And then the final, more advanced form of that is you can reach out, back, and fly. But again, don't sacrifice the hip. So you get a little more feeling of the shoulders opening by using the arms, but watch the back of the neck. Very importantly, don't squish the back of your neck. Okay, long neck. You're long all the way. Good. Good. Now, swimming, again, it's very simple, but doing it right is on the floor, and you can just start with this, trying not to move your body very much, but just lifting from your back until you can flutter off. So head down between your arms, yeah. Shoulders down away from your ears, don't sacrifice the shoulders. Good, and even if your arms have to be bent right now, that's fine. Okay, keep the shoulders down. It's more important to build the strength. Good. Let's see, Sandy. Swim. Shoulders down, shoulders down, shoulders down. Yes. Good. And a real easy version of it to start with, or if you're walking around the barn and getting ready to ride, is arms up. Feel like you're up against a wall. Don't lose the rib cage, and so at least you're coming from your back and you're working from here. Obviously,
We're going to make you do that in sitting trot today. You're going to trot around and you have your arms up here. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, well, that's interesting.
I have a stomach ache. I gotta leave.
Linda's looking at me like, oh, okay. And Sandy's looking at me like, oh my God.
But in my mind, I'm going, how's that going to work with my horse?
there's no range. Come on over and we'll do a pigeon stretch right quick. Give you a break for a second, and we're going to go on stretch your lower back.
Okay.
Okay? So that your lower back doesn't take the impact here.
This is a stretch for the lower back?
And your piriform, as I said, okay, the piriform is the hips and the IT band while we're at it.
I'm pretty sure I cannot do this.
Then, now, tell me why.
I can't sit Indian style like what she's.
Okay, can you do this?
Yeah, I can probably
Okay.
do that.
Then that's fine. Get your hips square and then take your back.
Okay.
Okay, it's also for your butt muscles. Where do you feel it when you go in the outside of your
The
legs?
hamstring.
The hamstrings?
My hamstrings are real tight.
Okay. The hamstring shouldn't prevent the bending of the leg, because they're being bent.
Well, I also have a right hip problem. I don't know what
Because this is a piriformis stretch, which is the muscle right
All right,
across
so
here.
I'll
Yeah.
try it.
Now, you try to get your hips square. Yeah. Yeah, just think of it coming square here. Yeah. And it's soft, yeah. Now, just think of draping yourself forward. You're not going to push or anything. It's just, you're going to breathe and just let Mother Nature and gravity take you down. Okay, to wherever. Yeah, just try to relax and release your muscles.
Okay, that pulls here,
Uh-huh.
here, and
Yeah.
and my hamstring.
Yes. Yes. And that's that whole tight thing, and that's with this. Do you know what I mean? So this whole area here as well.
That tightness might come from riding 100 miles at a time,
Maybe
like a little bit
yeah.
standing in the stirrups.
I bet. But it's kind of, and I'm interested to see what you feel on the other side when you do that, if it's as much or what the difference is.
I can bend forward easier on the side.
Uh-huh. So you're a little more open over here. Yeah. So that whole
I
side
still
of
don't
it.
think I can put my leg up here and
Well, that's certainly a lot better than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this whole side here is.
But my hips aren't square.
Yep. Well, I'll take that. Most people, the first time you do it, that's like the full advanced, when you've been doing it a while version. You know, most people have to modify when they first start doing this. But the fact is you can do it here,
Now
and not
here-
the other side.
On that side, I feel it here.
Yes.
On the bottom of my butt.
Yep. Yep. Okay. All right, so we're going to go on to the push-up muscle. The serratus and the lats. I'm sure everybody's heard about the lats. Maybe they don't know about the serratus. But you know those weightlifting guys with the big wings that come out from underneath here? Well, that's an overextended serratus. It feels like, it looks like a hand that's under your armpit in the back. So it's like right here, this muscle here, and then that connects into the lats. And what that is that shelf I'm talking about where you can kind of place things and let them, they're very strong muscles, they should be very strong muscles, and that they can just hold it and take care of things. So we use a lot of push-up muscles for everything. If you want to punch somebody, you really need to punch somebody, you want to do it from that area, not from your arm up here. So we're going to do the wall push-up first. Sandy, would you demonstrate?
No, I would rather not.
You come over here to the wall. We'll find spots for everybody. And we'll
Sandy's not used to being teacher's pet.
Anyway.
Wait till I get over
We'll
it.
use this.
Story.
It's going to do just fine.
What you want with the push-up muscles is you're going to have your hands again like we just did on the floor, where we had the hands right about here. So you don't want them up here somewhere. You want them down here. You're going to plank forward, but without sinking your hips forward. That's the usual tendency. What you're going to do is keep butt tight, abs going, and you're going to press in. Try to find those muscles, try to pop the muscles behind your armpit, and then push your way back out. Yeah, keep this from sinking in, hold this, and then as you press down, now here, make this hard as you push out, yeah, keeping the elbows close. So you want these muscles, good, yeah, good, here. See, now with you, what I like to do, look in the side here, is you're a little rounded here. Now some of that's just confirmation, just like horses come from confirmation, so do we. And so by doing some of these exercises, you build the strength up in different places. But this has like a hollow. Yep. Good. Good. And more here. More here. Yeah. Come a little bit close, a little bit for this. Try a little bit further down with the arms. Yep. Good. Good. There you go. Feel that? Yep. Now elbows down by your side and arms lower. Okay? Yeah. Good. Right here. Good. And down even a little further with your arms. We're going to test it. Keep the elbows in by the side. Yeah. Yes. Feel that? Yeah. Okay. Everybody felt that?
So if you do the plank on the floor, are your hands still supposed to be this low?
Not necessarily, no. But I want this because this really helps people to feel this. But you are not out here like most people think they are when they do planks.
Okay.
You do want them under here because
Under
out
your
here, shoulders, here is back. So if I'm going to do my push-up, I want my hands underneath me. I don't want them somewhere else. If I'm
Okay.
out here, I'm like, you know, but, so most people have them way too far out.
Okay.
But yes. Now, try again with the push-ups. I want you to push yourself away from the wall and catch yourself. Okay, so you're going to be so solid here. You're going to push away in one piece and then fall and catch yourself. So hands come away, yeah. And get those muscles ready for action. Yes. So if you threaten them, they might go to work a little bit more. Yes.
Could you point to, on one of the ladies, point to the muscle group in their back that should be the most engaged?
Right through here. Yeah, and keeping those elbows. So I want you to keep your hands here as you go forward. So don't let them go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, keep your hands there. So
Do it on
it's going to
Selena.
be
Do it on Selena or Melissa. Yeah, it'll be easiest to see.
this here, serratus into the lats, keeping the abs on so the lower back doesn't collapse, yep, and keeping the shoulders wide open. Can you do it with one hand? Maybe not. Really try to find that right under your armpit, because next we're going to do it over the reformer. It's going to be moving. Yeah, now don't twist your body though. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. Think of this, not your arm. You're trying to rescue yourself with your arm.
Yeah.
This, you know, this is your instinct. I mean, our instinct is, so yeah, you're twisting.
Twisting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That feeling under your armpit, that's where you got to have your stability when you're riding. Like
Well,
your upper arm
Right
stability comes from there.
Yeah, and
but-
we're gonna
yep,
push
right
on
through
forward,
here.
Figure that.
Right through there.
Yeah.
And then this is soft, okay? This is engaged. And then when this is engaged, this can be soft.
Yeah.
When this is disengaged, this clenches,
But
okay?
you feel how when you go to the wall like this, that you kind of feel like you're putting the scapula and the shoulders like on this shelf, and now you're just moving in one piece? Yeah. And that's why it's important that you get that confidence, so you're not like looking for one arm, you know, you're trying to do it with the arm. That you get the confidence that this is going to hold you, and it's going to be, that's it, yes. Yes, all of this back here should be hard and working. It's like having two steel poles.
I'm still feeling it more in my shoulders. I mean, it's easy to find when you're doing this, but I just,
Harder to
my
find that
shoulders
big
have always
other
been
tweaks,
weak,
you
you know,
know,
my back.
Well, they also tend to curve forward a little bit right now because they are tight.
Yeah.
So keep thinking of from here. I mean, it takes a while to finding the muscles, the hard part. Strengthening them is not the hard. It's like, what muscle am I looking for? There you go. There you go. Yeah. And keep thinking, yeah, right here. Right here. Good. Good. And for you, it's a little difficult because what you want to do is try to get the pecs. Yeah. When you curve forward, you want to kind of get the pecs involved. So I'm taking some of the onus off of my push-up muscles because I'm kind of doing this. You see people doing push-ups with their shoulders rounded, right? They don't go very well or very long. So it's got to be here to get into it. That's what I was talking about, stretching here to get here.
All right.
But the more you get this open, the easier that will be. You've got the idea, they're firing. They just, in order to really not get the pecs to try to come to the rescue. You know, it's like the cavalry is coming. Okay, now we're going to try something over here with the push-up. Everything you may want more weight. If you have socks on, I would either advise taking them off at the moment, or you can use the sticky. I have Pilates socks on, so I have little stickers on the bottom. And if you're really uncomfortable doing this, that's also another option, but I'm just letting you know. We're going to try to go push up on the bar. So what it amounts to is feet are here. I have my weight in my butt. Okay, so I'm on my legs, on my heels, on everything. As I press out here, I'm going to bring my weight forward, and I'm going to find those push-up muscles and be here. Now, I'm holding myself from my butt and my abs, and this is just balancing from my muscles in my back. Okay, so I could do anything I want to do here. And then pull it back under. All right? So the point being that you're here, now you may want a little bit more weight. Just pause. Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, good. Now, easy, easy, easy you go, and I'm happy to help. And the first one is going to be like, I don't know about this.
Okay, you're just doing one spring, too much spring.
Yeah, too much. Oh, wait a minute, this next one. Yeah, and as you go up, open your collarbone and straight back and keep your abs in your butt. So you're going to press out. Blanket one more. Press out, press out.
Because you don't want zero resistance.
Press out. Press out. Yeah. Good. Good. And then come back in. Miss Sandy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, no, nothing. But come, bring your weight over your butt. Then when you go out, I want you to open the shoulders and transfer your weight over to your shoulders. So when you go out, yes, and use these muscles. Now pull it back under you. Good. And out, straight arms. Yep, over your shoulders. Stay over your shoulders. Yes. Yes. Good. Oh, nice. Nice.
She found them.
She found them. Sometimes you have to be put in a life-threatening situation in order to find certain things. Very nice. Everybody looks great here. Yes, you get the idea? Yeah. Yes, and your shoulders are down. Look at that.
Now, should she be bending her elbows?
No, the straight is good. It's fine. She shouldn't be bending, but then I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll take it. But the main thing is the shoulders are down, and she's open in her back, and she looks great. A little more abs, good. And yeah, and stay over here, and you just take your legs out, and then pull it under with your abs. Pull your toes to your nose. Good. Yes. Good. That's excellent. Excellent. Oops. Okay. Here, you're going to be sitting on an unstable surface, and I want you to relax your hips. You can have your legs straightened, but have your feet on here so you don't slide. And have, be in your position, okay? And Mary and I are going to come around and push on you. Okay. So, and we don't want you falling off the ball. So you're going to need to find those push-up muscles, because we're going to push on your hand, and one hand, the other hand, this and that and the other thing, and try to find this position. So again, this is soft. J.J. Tate always calls it the T-Rex. She says the elbows stay, and this goes on, but this is soft. So you look like a T-Rex. But the idea being that this is setting down and from the back, okay? So, since you're over here, we'll try with you. So you're going to be in your position, get your push-up muscles on, because I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to give you a push. And push back from those muscles without rounding your shoulders. Drop the shoulders. Good. 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 Yes. So before you start, think of taking the shoulder blade down, opening your collarbone, and getting that position, because otherwise what happens, you're going to do this.
So you're right.
Okay, so you have to have it open.
Right there.
Feel?
And then this just hangs.
Because I'm having no mercy. Good.
All
Good.
the strength comes from right there when you push
Yes. Yes. Good.
I'm going to have you do everyone to start so you can tell them exactly where to push from.
Okay. Now,
I think I'm telling you right, but
now, the first thing is you gotta have that position. Remember, if you push and you're here, that isn't what, we're looking to get into our, what I call the default position or neutral position. So you wanna be there, you're gonna get in your fist, you're gonna have it close to your body, and I'm gonna push on you, and you're gonna resist me. From your muscles only. Yes. And I'm really gonna push. I'm really gonna push. Yeah, more.
she's doing, she's a little bit, bring her shoulder forward.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but you gotta really, just like you just did that push-up. Okay, except now this is one-handed, good. So we're also testing, is one side different than the other? So this is that side that usually is looser, but it might be weaker. Good. Or the other side. So get into your push-up mode. And this one wants to pull it. So push right straight against me. Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, here, there, more than in my back.
Yeah, so this has to be, this is that contracted side down here. So you really want to drop it into those push-up muscles. Yes, so don't round forward, but yes, keeping this position, push from here. It's almost like a circle of energy, when you're talking about it with the horse, but it's like drop it down and push it through.
And all of this here,
That makes sense.
how many riders do you notice sit like this? Like almost all of them, okay? And that really, it has to do with your pelvic positioning, but it also has to do with being contracted here and stretched here. So you're weak on the left and you're strong on the right, just like her. And to fix that, you've got to be able to engage these muscles here and, keep that down. That will help your hips slide into the right place. And then it'll also keep your horse from bowing out to the outside.
Yeah,
ring
it's,
being right.
imbalances, which Pilates is about imbalances, that's where all this stuff shows up. My left is okay, my right is really, okay? And sometimes very surprisingly, but is trying to, because I said, it's always usually a stretch and a strengthen. So if one side is really contracted and one side is very weak, I've got to work both ends, because usually one guy is working harder than the other, because that's just the patterns that have been set up in your body. But could be an injury you had, could be just because, it just can, or you're right-handed or left-handed or whatever. But once that pattern starts, to change that is, takes some mindfulness to be able to do it. And with here, like I said, your tendency is to kind of push up and to kind of round forward. But the strength is there, but the muscle likes to be a little more contracted. So think again, like I said, like the energy goes up and over, down and through. So that makes it look like a little circle through. Okay? So that it's going to drop down your back and then from your back out your hand. So it's coming from your back, yes. Not as strong, but better in the position. Because when you change the position, it may not be as strong in the beginning. Because if I'm used to clenching, then it's a different sort. Okay, Miss Cindy. Put your elbow where it's supposed to, get you in position, open your collarbone, good. Good. Whoops! Very good. Huh?
I heard your hand crack.
Ah, good. I got my exercise. So think down, and then through your back, through your hand. Woo! You're strong on this side. And drop the scapula down your back. I don't want to pop up. Good. Now, why is that your strong side? That's
I'm
interesting.
sorry, I said, but you weren't used to it.
I bet you're No, you're not. No, you're not. So that's interesting. You think you're stronger than that, so I can buck you off Yeah. That's interesting, so something is not connecting. It might be a stronger, no, it might be a stronger arm, but it might be because you're coming from the wrong muscle. I mean, in other words, that may be, you know, using brains, or it might be using different muscles or something, but connecting from that, the other one is stronger. It's more connected. So I don't know, that's, yeah, that's kind of interesting. And this, yeah, the scapula is a little bit higher too. All right. Is there any questions about any of that stuff? Like the push-up muscles?
Shoulder behind your inside. Think of keeping your outside hip behind your inside. Outside hip behind your inside hip, and then inside leg drops down. Engage that outside and bring them around. If the horse doesn't have a good reaction, when you do that with your upper body, then you've got to do a little kick with your outside leg. You know, if your horse is not used to you riding that way, he might not. And don't be afraid to use that collar. Draw up on it a little bit, kind of like you feel your little pinky. Pull up into it a little bit. Guys, a little tool here just to exaggerate this even a little bit more. The pads, are they over here?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm going to put this, carry this like this.
Ooh, it's dusty.
The feel a little bit more there. And you want to feel that you're squeezing it at the back, not at the front. Do you always have gray horses? I always remember you with gray horses.
No, I had one a rescue. Then I had a Dutch one that was a dark bay with white.
And we're gonna do.
You're still gonna walk the serpentine. You can just make it between the rail and the center line, but you want the turning to be steep enough that your horse has to have, you know, a pretty quick reaction to you engaging the outside of your body and rolling in a little bit with your outside upper leg. Good. So Linda, you still need to keep your outside shoulder behind your inside around the turn. Cherokee, right shoulder back. Good. And now left shoulder back, Linda. Yeah, he does, you know, he's not real quick to turn off of that, so you've got to give him a little kick on the outside. Make your range just a little shorter, Linda.
Mary, can you stand in a way that you're talking more in this direction? So even if you're standing there, you're talking more this direction so the mic picks it up?
Okay, I'll just stand
Okay.
closer to
That's
it.
right.
Because I got to be able to
Yeah,
see
no,
them
no,
all.
that's what I mean. I just wanted to, when you're back to me, I can't, you know, it's...
That's getting better, Linda. And then just kind of be mindful, is it harder to get your horse to turn one direction or the other without having to grab onto the inside rein and drag him in that direction? They've got to turn off your outside aids. That's right, Linda. Yeah, he doesn't want to turn as easily to the left. So you've got to make sure that you keep your right shoulder back and that he turns off that the right side of your body engaging. And when he doesn't, you give him a little kick with your leg like, hey, come on, turn. Come on, turn. That's right. So Sandy, you could even start turning it into a little bit of a turn on the haunches. Have you schooled that with him? See if you can do it without disengaging your outside. And then you can be softer, good on your inside. But I wouldn't go round and round. I'd only go 90 degrees. 90 degrees and then straight and then 90 degrees. Good. Good. And then straight. And then 90 degrees. Outside back. So I think what you should both be feeling, especially when you've got the things that you have to hold on to, is how as the turn gets tighter and tighter, you more want to let go on the outside of your body. But as the turn gets tighter and tighter, you've got to do just the opposite. That's it. And the more you engage on that side and get the horse to turn quickly, the softer you can be on the inside rein. Good, Sandy. Good. All right, I'm going to take the little pads away from you for a couple of minutes so you can go and trot without them. But then we're going to get them back again. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys warm up on some trot, and then we'll go back to them. But you know, think of keeping that same feeling because you're feeling more without him feeling like he's being held. Okay? If he wants to go, and you disengage your shoulders and hold him this way, yeah, he's gonna, but just think of him gonna hold him from the middle of my back. I'm going to hold him from the middle of my back. If he gets a little quick, I'm going to bring him back this way, and I'm going to stay very connected here. Back to the armpit engage. Okay. All right, Linda, let's go in some rising trot. Both horses. And just go all the way around the arena on the track. And just try to find that feeling at the back of your armpit. Yeah, good, Linda.
Very nice.
Linda's got boobs.
Yeah, really. I don't hide them. Not hide them.
Normally you do.
I know.
So Sandy, as he gets a little strong, think your strength is in your upper back and at the back of your armpits, not in your arms. Can you go posting, Sandy? What? Can you post? Yeah. So Linda, go a little shorter on the reins and on the collar. And Sandy, on the downbeat you're posting, look at me. On the downbeat, I want you to think here, 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 every time on the down. Draw your little fingers up against your collar, the collar a little bit, and drop your shoulder blades down and in on every downbeat. Drop them down and in, drop them down and in, drop them down and in. Good. Linda, I want you to do a little shoulder roll to make sure you're not holding it in tension there. There you go. Good. That's looking better, Sandy. Yep, every downbeat, you communicate with him through your shoulders and upper back. Don't let that go and then grab on with your arms. Upper back, upper back, upper back. That's right. Good. And let's change rein, Linda. So Sandy, you can just stay on the left rein now. Okay, what you can do, Sandy, is put him right behind Linda's horse. And Linda, have Handy go a little slower. And we're going to put Sandy right behind you to help make Venisador back off just a little bit. So you stay and walk until she catches up to you. Uh-huh.
You may be a little sore there.
I am.
But you know, it's like we've got to find the strong muscles in our body to counter their movements. And our back is one of the places.
Okay, now both horses that transition to the walk. Okay, so when we do that down transition, if your horse doesn't come back, okay? If your horse doesn't come back when you do this, you've got to do it a little bigger, because what's happening, Sandy, is you come back a little bit, and then when he doesn't come back, you clench with all of this and bring him back, okay? And you want to try to do it from your upper body, and your arms stay more supple. And you're going to have to really exaggerate it a few times before he starts getting the idea that when your upper body comes back, he's got to come back, okay? But if your upper body comes back and then your shoulders give out, your hands come a little forward and start clenching back, he's just going to grab and drag on that. I mean, that's not unique to him by any stretch of the imagination. But keep him right behind Handy.
That looks good, Sandy. That looks good.
Okay, and then back in cross. Keep him slow, Linda. And then a transition to the walk. Sandy, bring that upper body back. Yes, all the way back. That's right. And then back to cross. And the next transition is going to be close, back, back. Okay? Chris? You get Chris? Yeah. Do that often? Okay, cross. Now all the way to halt. Shoulder blades lean back. Shoulder blade back, 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 back. body back and engage that upper back.
Okay.
And ideally, Sandy, that's what we want, is no walk step. He trots, he halts. All the way back. Halt. Now, you didn't make him finish. Make him finish it. So, Linda, a little more tap with the left leg to get him to close that halt. Okay. Make him finish it. All the way back. Stand there. About 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. No walk steps, Linda. Right. Yes, good. But you need to make him stand there, Sandy. Don't do it for a half a second and take off again. He's got to stand there. You should be able to wiggle around and kick your nose, and then he trots. Okay? I think Linda, relax hard. Shoulder blade each thing. We're going to make you guys carry a little faster in a second. It's getting better, right? And listen. So you got to make him do everything all the way. There's no gray with horses. It's black and white. It's this is the you can't do anything in here. Okay. You always your horse will always come back to you enough that when he comes back, you have a desire to let go of the reins and put your leg on. If he doesn't come back so much that you have a desire to soften the reins and put your leg on, then he moves back. He slows down, but he didn't come back and you shift his balance back, because the whole thing about the horse coming back, you've got to shift their balance. It's not just about decelerating. Does that make sense? And when you're here and you come back, you're like, hey, buddy, you better shift your balance. You're not going to let him stop down here. And some horses will do that. They'll go along and they'll stop, but they stop down here. We don't want that. I'd rather see the horse, even haul around a little bit initially and bring his head up and understand he's got to come up and stop this way. And then we can refine that and get him walking around. But he's got to be obedient to that age. That's just like a safety thing. You got to stop. Every time you got to stop. Okay? Let's pick it back up, and I'm going to have you guys do that same exercise, but we're going to put the pads under your armpits to try it. See if you can feel the difference. Because I'd like to be able to combine the transitions with the turning.
Yes, thank you, Cassandra.
That looks great.
And let's go on a serpentine of 3 loops. Okay, and let's try to make it a real figure. So we're going to make it the width of the arena. Okay. And so you cross through the middle twice.
It looks good, Sandy.
Well,
no, it does.
Hang on a second. You're going to be trotting. You can keep them in a slow sitting trot. And as you cross the center line, you're going to halt. Oh. Okay, so they halt on the center line, and then they trot. So I don't want you too close to each other. Upper back. Think of turning your thumbs outward just a little bit, Sandy, which will help roll your elbows in and close up that upper arm. Linda, make your reins a little shorter. And let's find the serpentine and the turning first, and then I'll tell you when to halt. Okay. I think it may be easier to just have you both halt at the same time. Okay. Okay? So now remember, you can't do the turning by pulling the inside rein. You've got to engage that outside shoulder blade. You had the lat muscle. What was the other one?
Serratus.
The lat muscle and the serratus muscle that you guys worked on, those have to engage on the outside to turn the horse.
Back under the armpit.
Yep, back under the armpit. So serpentine of 3 loops, Sandy. Make him stay on a figure. That's part of the training too. The horse has to go where you tell it to go. And when you do the transition to the halt, I want you to squeeze that black pad with the back of your armpit to engage your upper back.
Oh, good move. Yeah.
Okay? So we're going to halt in 3, 2, 1, halt. Squeeze it, upper body back, halt.
3, 2, 1.
Halt, all the way, yeah, all the way into
Yes.
halt. Now, did you feel how he tried to kind of do this to you? And so you've got to be here consistently. So he just learns that's not an option. You know, pulling you out of the saddle to stop is not an option. Okay? Going to his knees is not an option.
Looks like he pushed himself and he fell on his right side.
Oh yeah, you're right. I did see that. Oh no, that's. I think that's just dirt.
I can't see color because it was sunglasses.
Oh yeah, that's just dirt.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
No, I'm glad you said that.
It's not.
No, it's just dirt. Dirt and saliva probably. Okay, and then trot again. And let's stay on the serpentine width of the arena. If we need to, I'll set out some cones. But that's like a whole other lesson, is being able to put your horse exactly where you want him as part of his training, and it's part of making an exercise gymnastic. That looks good, Linda, but think shoulders down as you squeeze that. Not allowed to pull them up. And then Linda, think 3, 2, and halt. Squeeze it, sit. Good. And then trot. And when you get a little bit quicker with your leg, you know, you'll feel, oh, I need to bump him a little bit. So Sandy, back in the sitting trot. You need to close your fist all the way on the reins all the time. And now squeeze through that outside armpit to turn him. Outside of your body turns him. Good. And both horses, 3, 2, 1, halt. Halt, Sandy. Squeeze it all the way to the stop. You don't change your posture. Good. And then trot on. That looks great, Linda. Outside shoulder back. You cheated the turn. Got to turn him with the outside aid. Sandy, make him slow down a little bit. Yeah, good. That's right. Yes. You might have to repeat that, and now repeat it. Chin up. Outside shoulder blade engaged to turn him, Sandy. Yes. Good. Good. And now slow him. Upper body.
Yes. Yes.
Good. That. Yeah. Better. Better. And both riders prepare to halt in 3, 2, 1. Close the armpit. Sit down. Good.
Those muscles down the back, I remember I said that they're almost like a pole that goes right down to your sit bones. So when that engages, like what Mary's talking about, it also deepens that seat and that connection. So you're bracing your back kind of feeling. So he knows you mean business when you want to stop. So it's all the way down to your seat.
When you come down and in, if he doesn't stop, it should feel like he pulls you more into the saddle, okay? And you'll have that sensation if this all stays engaged. If this lets go, then you have the sensation he's pulling you forward, okay? And if you create that sensation, if he's pulling you down into the saddle, he'll stop, okay? Because that's not a comfortable place for him. It'll be more comfortable for him to be like, oh, okay, I better adjust my balance back and come down. But as long as, if he can disengage you even a little and take you this way, he's like, I'm out of here. And you know, what I like about how he goes around is he wants to go. And you want a horse that wants to go, but he's got to let you direct his energy. And he's a sensitive horse, but he also is a horse that kind of wants to take over a little bit. And you have to show him, no, we're here, we're here, we're here. So in between the transitions to halt, you're going to have to be like, come back, okay, come back, okay. come back, okay, and reminding him until that gets to be more kind of home base for him. Does that make sense? Because right now it's like run, 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 run until she does something big, and then run, 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 run until she does something big. And you have to be constantly, I'm here, and you got to be showing that to him. And not be thinking, oh, I'm getting too much in his mouth. No, you're sitting into him in a posture, and he has to follow that posture. And he will follow that posture and start to lift up over the top of the bit and make himself light. Okay, he won't be light by you letting go of him. He'll be light by him sitting down and lifting up over the top of the bit. But that all comes from that posture through here. If you don't have that posture through here, you can't make the horse sit down and lift himself up to be light. Does that make sense? He has to adjust to you, not the other way around, which means that you have to be solid. And you've got all the strength. I think you just need to be reminded, like, what to engage where, okay, to maintain it. All right, let's continue on. I'm just going to have you do a few more minutes holding the pads. Here, let me turn it the other way. You don't want it under your elbow.
Can we do the perpendicular trainer?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to, but I think, you know, let's see if you feel, you know, a notable difference when you do your transitions to the halt, and then you'll know if it was helping you or getting more in the way. Beneath the door. Okay, so put yourself behind Linda so you're both going the same direction. Linda, a little shorter in the rein length. Little shorter reins, Linda. Still.
I'm having trouble with this thing getting in the way.
I know, it just takes practice getting used to holding it.
Yeah.
There you go. So only, Linda, only hold it with the back of your armpit. The back of your armpit.
Okay.
So both riders, I want you to be feeling how taking this back down pushes your seat bones down into the saddle. Your seat bones always have to be falling down into the saddle. The horse cannot be drawing them out of the saddle, and you can't let your position draw them out of the saddle. That was very good through there, Sandy. Adjusting him back. And now, Linda, you adjust Sandy back. Just with your shoulder blades. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, and he came back in a good way. So play with that within the trot. Bring
Okay.
him back a little bit, relax it a little bit. Bring him back a little bit, relax it a little bit. Good, Sandy. You show this horse, no matter what, your shoulder blades ain't changing. You're going to keep those lats and that serratus totally engaged all the time. And he's just got a deal. Good. Good. Now he's getting better in his balance. Super. Stay back. Stay back. Bump, bump. Yeah, let it massage.
Oh, not good.
Yeah, have some fun. So Linda, think of letting your legs fall a little more. And you can go ahead and let go of the collar now too.
Okay, good.
Good, Sandy. From your shoulders. Now turn outside shoulder blade back and engage. Inside rein soft. Good. Good. Super. Now, Sandy, ask for a halt. Just come back with your upper body. Super.
Yes.
Good job. Good, Linda. Continue on and trot, Linda. And let's play with adjusting him a little bit, Linda. Outside shoulder blade back behind the inside. And now, Linda, try to make his trot shorter and slower. Squeeze the back of your armpit, upper body back. Good. Good. And then allow him forward again. Sandy, keep thinking it's the back of your armpit that squeezes. You a little bit almost want to get your hands too far out here. Okay, think of letting him rest back by you a little bit closer. There you go. There you go. That makes him carry himself in a little bit different balance than when you have your hands way out over his neck. Charlotte Dujardin rides like that, but her horses at Grand Prix. I still don't think, I hate this about her posture. Good, Linda. Think of letting those shoulders fall away from your ears. Charlotte? I think she's pretty tall. She's pretty tall.
That looks really stable.
Great, Linda. Yeah, see, now he's starting to really come back. Good for you. Super. Yep, just keep those shoulder blades engaged so your seat bones are always down, 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 down. Good. That's lovely, Linda. Feel your shoulder blades coming all the way down through your seat bones. All the way down. Good. Good. Yeah, look how rhythmic Benicidor's getting. Good. Super, Linda. Yeah, good. All right, go ahead and come down to the walk. We'll go ahead and take the little pads away. Sweaty pads, that's okay. Now I need to get you. Pull your seat down. Yep. Pull your shoulders down into your seat bones. You pull your shoulders down into your seat bones consistently, and this, he just looks like he'll just bloom. Okay, I'm going to stand out here. Okay, now I just want to do this in the walk because I don't want to disrupt, like especially Sandy, what you just taught your horse, okay? But in the walk, I want you guys to now, as you're walking, you're going to look at me a second, you're going to let your shoulder blades go, and I want you to feel the difference in your lower back and in your seat bones.
Oh yeah.
Just walk along, and what you should feel is that your weight just shifted up off your seat bones a little bit. You're still on your seat bones, you're just not as much on your seat bones.
They tilt forward.
That's right. Your pelvis tips this way a little bit. Okay, and then re-engage and feel the weight come back down through.
Yeah.
And you need to recognize and have a feel for both places. Okay, and then disengage again. And when you guys disengage, like to people watching, it doesn't look any different. Okay, it's just how you're feeling in the saddle. It only looks different if it starts going to an extreme, and then re-engage.
I can see the difference in the horse.
Well, as soon as you re-engage, what happens? You have to put your leg on a little bit, right? Because when you disengage, the horse falls on the forehand and he feels like he's walking more forward, but he's not walking in the balance that you want. And then when you re-engage, your horse's neck comes up a little bit and they almost feel like they want to stop. Okay, but it's just them shifting their balance, and then your leg has to say no, keep the motor running. Or something that I tell people a lot, your upper body, its job is to keep the front end of the horse with you, and your lower body's job is to keep the rear end of the horse going. So you feel like the rear end moves faster with more energy than the front end. But the front end is controlled through your posture. And how your shoulder blade, how the weight from your shoulders, that dynamic comes down through your seat bone. Now just for kicks, disengage and do a transition to the halt. And feel where that has to come from. Okay, and you should feel it came from right here. If you're disengaged, it came from right here. Might not have had to do a lot, okay, because now they're both, you know, they've been stopping in a good way. But it's coming from your arm and not your back. And then walk on. and re-engage, do a little shoulder shrug, re-engage those shoulder blades back and in, and then do a transition to the halt. It's just shoulder blades.